all right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Hot Pudge IG Live. I'm your host, Pudge Fernandez. Thank you for tuning in to another episode going strong and long. By the end of the month, we're gonna be pushing like 60 episodes. We're in our second season, and time flies when you're in a pandemic. And as long as we're in a pandemic, I'm still gonna keep going. So I got a lot of cool, very cool people I'm gonna be interviewing, especially tonight. But for those of you watching, thank you. For those of you who come here for the first time, thank you. Don't forget, anything you missed, any past episodes, go to my YouTube channel, Hot Pudge Sunday. Sunday like the day of the week, Hot Pudge Sunday. Subscribe. You can see season 1. You can see season 2. I am a stand-up comedian. If you think I'm funny or you want to see if I'm funny, I got a couple of clips I did for Comedy Time TV a couple of years ago. Check it out. It's all there. Subscribe to Hot Pudge Sunday. Later this month, I have somebody from the FDNY, New York City Fire Department, tuning in. Who else do I got? I got I don't got the lot off the top of my head, but I got some cool interviews coming. Trust me, including tonight. So, further ado, let me get my first guy on. We go way back. He's from the neighborhood, born and bred in Queens, New York. Went on to bigger and better things. One of the first guys I knew who actually had his dream and he knew exactly what he wanted to do, which I thought was pretty cool. Trying to get him on. He disappeared. Fuck. Very impatient. Anyway, yeah, so I remember we were in the neighborhood. So he's from Queens, Elmhurst. We used to hang out. We did shit together. Cool shit, not so cool shit, stupid shit, typical 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old shit. And he was a DJ. That was his love. I don't know. When I met him, like I was 17, 18. And since I met him, he was a DJ. And that's what he loved doing. And he loved it so much. I mean, he made sure he got a job at a record shop back in the day. And he created his own record collection. And he bought the 2 whips and the mic, all that DJ equipment. And he actually moved into the garage. He actually took his bedroom and everything and put it into the garage, right? He made his garage was his bedroom / studio. His parents, I was like amazed, and it became our hangout. And you were our mixtape maker back in the day when we had mixtapes.
Holy shit, I forgot.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frank Cheech Polonia for Queens, New York, guys. Say hello, Cheech.
What's up? How the hell are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm just feeding everybody a little bit of knowledge and just, giving you a shout out. And you know what? You were like the first guy I knew. I didn't know it then. We were young and stupid. But looking back, I envy you because you knew what you wanted to do and you were doing it. We were still fucking around, but you were doing it with the music. I mean, you were DJing out of your bedroom and in the garage and making mixtapes. I remember I saw you at a club one time, and 20 years later, you're in the industry. You're an industry guy.
I am.
Like, congrats and like kudos to you, man. It's like, wow. I really envy. I wish I was as smart as you back then. Because, we were fucking around, and we were all lost. We were 17, 18, 19.
Smart. I was just lazy. I didn't want to do nothing else. I figured out what I liked, and I just wanted to do that all day.
But that's the simplicity. That's the thing I tell my kids, and I tell, just find out what you want to do and do it. It's stupid. It's stupid and simple. And that's what you did. You were making music in your garage, in your bedroom. You had the DJ equipment. You had the crates.
I remember you actually drove me to pick up my first turntable off a layaway.
I remember picking you up at the job on Junction Boulevard. You worked in a record shop. Yeah. I remember seeing you at the clubs. I think there was some house parties I think you invited us to that you were DJing. I mean, it was, you from day one. So,
it was even the Camptown race. I wasn't even a good DJ. I sucked. My mixes were horrible. The good thing my choice of music was good.
That's how anything is. We all suck in the beginning. I mean, I'm a stand-up comic. I can tell you that's exactly how we're supposed to start and how we do start. We suck. Absolutely bomb. But if it's your passion, if it's what you love, you don't care and you keep going. And that's exactly what you did. Been like, what, 20 years now? How many years you been in the, so what's, you 20 years plus, right?
I mean, I would say my first industry job, if you want to call it that, was the record store, and I was 16 years old. And the only reason I got the job was because I was in there every day, and the owner was like, "Hey, you want a job?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll take it." And I started working there for like what, $4.25 an hour at the time,
Yeah, yeah.
or like less maybe. It was kind of bad. I remember Taco Bell was all the rage. Junction Boulevard was crazy. It was awesome. It was a good time, man.
That was Queens. That was,
Yeah.
now you were born and raised in Queens, correct? Like
Born and
most,
raised in Queens, Corona. I was born in Corona. Moved to Elmhurst, just a few blocks away.
right, from where I knew you.
So I'm
And
from the general area most of my life.
and where'd you graduate from? That I'm a little confused because I
I
thought you went to
graduated from Newtown. I was younger than you. I am younger than you.
No,
Old
I know you
bastard.
were younger, but I thought you went to McClancy.
I went to McClancy for my freshman year, and then I just couldn't deal with the fact that there were no girls in the school.
Oh, so your erection, daily erections were telling you, no, this is not a good place.
For the erection, right.
Yeah. So they were like, dude, I'm hard, but all you're showing me is guys. Get me out of here.
Yeah, I was on the track team, and I was doing pretty well there. And I was always kind of, don't tell me twice. I don't like to be told too many times about things. And
Right.
that's the whole nature of Catholic school, is telling you what to do and everything. So I was doing really well at the track team, and I knew I was going to go places as a track runner. But there were some veiled threats at the end of the year about something I didn't want to do. And they were like, "Oh, yeah, well, we're going to see about that in the award season." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, well, fuck you then. We'll see who's here next year." And I went home and I was like, "Look, I don't want to go back to this freaking school. I'm going to have a real problem with authority the older I get." So that's what.
Between the authority, track, and your erections, you said, hey, I'm taking it over to Newtown High School.
Correct. And I wasn't really serious about anything. I just really wanted to fuck around. I wanted to like be a few blocks away from my house, because Newtown, I lived on 52nd.
Right.
Newtown's on 90 what, 4th?
4 blocks,
92nd?
3 blocks. Yeah.
90th. It's on 90th Street and like 49th or something. So I literally walked to school. I wanted all that convenience. I wanted the girls. I wanted to see my friends. I didn't care about any school or anything like that.
Wow. All right, but were you on the track team in Newtown?
No, I completely abandoned all decency when I went to Newtown and decided this is what I want to do. I want to fucking hang out with John Fisherman and Chris Ryan and the twins and Nestor. And I want to skateboard and pick up chicks and work at the record store and smoke blunts and drink 40s.
40s, yes.
And I cut out of school as much as anybody else. But the minute I knew that if I cut one more time, I was going to fail, I'd go. So I never did summer school or anything like that. I passed my classes because I was always he's so smart, but he doesn't apply himself kind of kid.
Yeah.
And the reason why I didn't get left back at all was because I didn't want to accept it, that I was going to fucking get left back and have to do it all over again. I was like, hell no. I got to get through this. So I did.
I actually was the same thing. I was like too smart. Like I was the one who came up. I was in Catholic school first, and I went to public in 5th. And I ended up in top class every year in honors for about 4 or 5 years. But I was a failure on the daily. I'm the one who got, when the city statewide test came, I maxed it. That's why I kept getting in honors in top classes, but my report card and every day was garbage, which was hilarious. So yeah, I was like, same thing. He's really smart, but he doesn't apply himself bullshit. And I mean, it was true. It was true because it just wasn't me. And I did go in high school. I was told as a sophomore, I was told by my counselor, "You're not graduating." I was already a sophomore. I was so far behind. She said, "You're not going to graduate." And all I can think about was, I want to graduate with my friends. I want to get out of here with them. I haven't got left back almost a bunch of times. So that motivated me. And I did end up going to summer school twice, night school.
I went to night school.
Night school, Jamaica? You went to Jamaica?
I went to Washington Irving.
That was that was 2 choices. Washington,
me and Harold. Remember Harold? Me and Harold went.
Harold Nissan
Harold the Barker, remember?
Yeah. And I went to Jamaica. So I was motivated to get the fuck out with my friends. It wasn't about passing, or it was just I got to get out with my friends. I don't want to get left back. So I did.
Pretty much. That was it. Yeah.
So I graduated Newtown 91. What year did you graduate?
94.
94. Okay, so you're alumni.
Correct.
All right. See by 94 I was already in the Army, so I was already.
Yeah, I remember that too. I remember being at the Pan American Hotel on the night that you were deploying or going to basic.
The party, yeah, the night before, they all
I
stuck
remember
us
that.
in a hotel, and we were drinking and saying goodbyes and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did some crazy shit. Like I'm very happy that we're good, we're healthy, we look great because we did some stupid shit. I don't know if you want to talk about it. There's somebody else.
Yeah, I'll talk about anything, bro. It was what that shit made us, bro. Everything we did.
Yeah, it was between, for me, it was between, as soon as I graduated high school, it was 91. For those 2 years is when we were running amok. And just so to get it out, basically what we were doing is we were playing Grand Theft Auto before it was a video game.
We were playing it in real life.
For real. And yes, we were in stolen vehicles, but it wasn't so much the vehicles we were taking most of the time. It was what was inside those vehicles.
Correct.
Because back in the day, it was all about systems, the booming systems. It was all about the speakers, the amps, the goosenecks, the equalizers.
Yeah, but there was
radio.
also a point when it was like, you know what? I really need to get the bass side. Let's take this little piece of shit over here and just get there.
Yeah, it could have been. Yes, there was many reasons. Sometimes we take the content. Sometimes we take it for shits and giggles. I took a car in front of the Twins' building because the guy left the key in the trunk. So,
do you remember the time we had the U-Haul?
Yeah, the U-Haul.
Do you remember when we used to ask people, hey, get in the back? And then we would drive around like maniacs, bouncing people around in the back of the truck?
Right. So to clarify the story for everybody, what had happened was, so, we're hanging in the neighborhood. I'm going to Chris Ryan's house all the time. He was my first guy I go to because his house is right there.
I'm going to get a beer.
All right. Anyway, so I go to Chris's house and I was pissed. Because I used to park in front of his house.
Okay, I'll talk to you in a minute.
There was a U-Haul truck in front of his house for a week. And I get mad. I'm like, yo, Chris, get this fucking truck out of my spot. Why is this truck? This is my park. It's the front of a house. That was my spot, was the front of his house. And there's a fucking U-Haul truck there. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is the deal? He's like, I don't know. It's been there all week. So he goes, let me check it out. So he goes up to the truck. He opens the door. We're like, oh, shit. We both go in. And he starts searching, and he finds the key. Oh shit! And then he puts the key in the ignition. It turns on. We're like, oh shit!
Yeah.
It was a wrap.
Yo, we had that shit for like 2 weeks.
We had a toy. Yes, that's what it was. It was a toy, and we took this truck, and we just, we took turns driving it around the neighborhood. Then what
people up from work.
People, he just picked up anybody in the U-Haul, get the fuck in. And we gave lessons. I don't know if you remember Aziz. You remember Aziz?
Oh, rest in peace, Aziz.
Rest in peace, Aziz. He did not know how to drive. So I'm like, hey, dickhead, get your lessons. Jump in the truck. We're going to teach you how to drive. We went to Shea Stadium. And when the Mets were away.
Drove on the parking line. That's when people were in the back.
Yeah,
around.
You were there that night. You were that yeah. Fun. So we taught him how to drive in the Shea Stadium parking lot in the middle of the night, and then we fucked around because we told him, get in the back. There's something loose. There's something loose in the back. Get in the back. And we went back there and we shut the door. And he was my best friend since the 7th grade. I thought I knew him. I did not realize that he was scared of the dark.
Yeah,
because he flipped out, and we shut the door. He's in the back, and we hit the gas. Chris is behind the wheel, and he's murdering the truck. He's fucking hard left and hard right.
He was trying to do donuts in a U-Haul.
He tried to do donuts in a U-Haul. It almost flipped. So, I mean, you can feel it just fucking.
Yeah, and he was bouncing around back there. That was really cool.
And he was screaming. He was screaming, and finally, I'm like, this motherfucker's what the fuck? And then we stop, open up the truck. And he comes out, and he was like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Because I'm scared of the dark. I'm like, how the fuck are you scared of the dark? How do you sleep at night? He goes, no, the light is on in the window. But he was pitch black back there, and he wigged the fuck out. So we had so much fun. And
fun fact? I'll give you a fun fact about Aziz. There was a time when I was working at PS13 over the summer, just feeding like school lunches to the kids and shit.
Yeah.
I had a little summer job that lasted a few weeks, and the lunch lady was Aziz's mom.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I know. I
Yeah,
know.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"What? You're Aziz's mother?" I met his little sister. It
Yeah.
was cool.
Yeah. His mom. His mom retired. His mom retired. And we finally, to finish the truck story, so we have the truck, and we actually were lending it out to people. We're like, hey, you want to drive a truck?
Yeah. Go pick your
So,
girl up in the truck.
yeah, take the U-Haul. Go pick up your girl. Go bang in the back. So we lending the truck out, and the final people who we lent it out to were the twins,
Yeah.
Pablo and Alfredo, and they ended up getting pulled. The cops fucking rolled up, sirens, woo, and they jumped out, hands up, guns out, and then they ran. And they abandoned the truck, and that was it. And we were pissed. We're like, yo, how the fuck you gonna lose our truck? We had the truck. We had plans. We're gonna make money. And we were like, it was such a cool 2 weeks.
Well, we're lucky we weren't the ones that got pulled over.
Yeah, because I'm not fast.
Me either. I mean, well, I was fast, but I would have been a little scared.
Yeah. But it was a fun 2 weeks. And that was just the tip of the iceberg of the shit that we were doing with the taking of systems and cars and speakers. And you were out. I know you were a part of a lot of, there were some crazy nights, man. You were a good look. I remember you were a lookout for me and Chris. I think you had a girl with you. You were making out with the girl while we're.
Oh no, I remember that.
Do you remember that night?
I remember Scott was in the car behind us.
Was he? Dude, there were so many times. I don't know if we're talking about the right one, but I know
the one the one I'm thinking about was me and Sapo. Remember Sapo?
Yeah. I don't remember
He
Sapo.
found some chicks, and me and him were hanging out. And I was in the backseat with one of them, who, not my proudest moment, I'll say. But somehow you and Chris and Scott pulled up and found us. Maybe Pasapo told you guys where we were or something, and fucking Scott couldn't stop laughing at me. Every time I would lean in to kiss the girl, you'd hear Scott fucking dying laughing at me for doing what I was doing.
Why? She wasn't pretty? I don't get it.
Yeah, we'll say that. We'll say it wasn't my proudest moment. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
And Scott has a very vivid remembrance of this story because he'll still bring it up.
He's on next week. I'm gonna have him on next week. So
I'll be watching. You know, every time I'm in LA, I pull up on Scott because he runs the clubs over there.
Yeah.
He makes me look like a superstar because I cut in front of all the white girls.
Wow, that's big. That's big in LA.
They're all trying to get in line in the VIP line. I'm like, yo, Scott, yo. And he walks right up. He's like, yo, this is my man from Queens. Right in. And the chicks are like, who is that? Just Cheech.
I mean, talking, because I've been, initially I started this because of the pandemic and I lost the stage. A lot of comedians lost it. So we need another outlet. And I started, recording and interviewing comedians and then actors and military. But I'm really having a lot of fun with like people from Newtown, Queens, and everybody who grew up. I mean, it's amazing what we were doing, as far as the Grand Theft Auto and the trucks and this and that, to where we are. I mean, I'm in the entertainment industry. You're in the record industry. Scott's doing security out in LA. He lives like a few blocks from the Kardashians. I think he told me. So it's crazy.
Yeah, Scott's doing well, man. Scott really came a long way. We all did, man. All of us were doing weird shit back then, and fucking around a lot. But I think that's what we are, man. Matter of fact, a lot of the instincts that were in me when I was younger with you guys, they still kick in. That stuff shaped me, and it's the way that I carry myself because of all that.
I definitely learned a lot. It helped me be a better parent because, not to drop shade, I guess my parents weren't paying attention to me that much. That's why. And I realized that we had energy. We, at adolescence, we carry an energy. That's why they say, yo, how come when that joke, when we get older, we can't hang out like we used to. Remember, we hang out till 4 a.m. and then go to work at 9. We had all this energy, and
that went on until I was 25.
and I recognize that if this energy is not going in a good, positive direction, it's gonna find another direction. And for us, especially for me, it was running around, smoking, drinking, hanging out in the park, and this all the shit. I mean, fuck. I mean, I never got arrested. I wasn't hurt.
Do you remember the
Thank
time that
God.
do you remember the night that we almost all died? We
Which night we almost died? Which
well,
night?
one of, but this one is a vivid one for me. Remember, we went to one of our boys was DJing a Sweet 16 in Ridgewood,
Metropolitan Avenue.
Metropolitan Avenue, and
We were bum rushed. We were
pulled up
rushed.
like we pulled up like a fucking 20 or something of us, and we kind of
Three
went in that
cars.
party
3
like
cars.
we were invited,
Yeah.
and we were jumping around because the House of Pain. I jump around, remember that? And
Yeah,
we were all
we were
had,
jumping
like,
around in the Sweet 16 and we weren't invited.
we weren't invited, and we were drunk already because we was drinking 40s before we got there.
Yeah,
so we walked in there literally like we owned the place, right? So all the dudes were like, "Who the fuck are these guys?" So then we went outside, and we're all like trying to get in the cars and leave. Somebody told me. I think it was Chris.
We split up because we parked
Yeah.
in different locations, and the minute we split up, they took advantage because I was
Yeah,
stupid.
Chris knew. He told me, "Yo, Cheech, go check on John. Something's going on." And I was like, "I was just with John. Everything's fine. I'll go there though." And I went over there, and you were like, you looked nervous. And at that point, you got the car started and took off. And I was right about to walk up to your door, and you had taken off. So now it's me and like 20 dudes that all had sticks in their hands from somewhere. And I was the only one left, me and Sandro.
Wow.
So when you guys took off and everybody took off, me and Sandro were like holding each other like, "Yo, we're gonna die!" We fucking took off. We had like 20 dudes chasing us, man. They were at our heels, ready to get us. Somehow we got away.
It was a mess. I actually caught a golf club to my windshield.
Yeah, I remember your car got hit a few times, but
my
windshield.
windshield.
You want to know who saved me?
Who?
Me and Sonny were running up the block, and fucking Archie was in his brother's Grand National. Remember the Black Grand National?
The Black National.
They pulled a Starsky and Hutch and said, "Open the window!" And me and Sandro jumped through the window, and we're saved. They took off, and we got away.
Okay, that's the first part of the story.
There's another part that I wasn't there for because I got away.
I think you left. The reason we got rushed is because we parked in different locations, so we had split up. Once we split up, we were divided, and they came to conquer, and that's where they came after me. And there was a little brawl. They came at me with the golf club, and then we got away. Then you got away. So my car, you know how we did. You had to get the fuck out and find a payphone because that's what we did. You know, guys, we had beepers, so we would beep to the other car to our number at the payphone, and then this is where we're at. Come over here. All right, we're right there. What happened? Boom. They rushed us. Oh, shit. So now we got 2 cars. We're like, oh, shit, this happened. Oh, shit, look at my windshield. Oh, shit, what are we going to do? There's always that one guy, all it takes, and this is our energy. I was going back to the energy I'm talking about. This is the energy. We have this energy after this happening, and everybody's like, yo, let's go back and fucking kidnap one of them. Let's go back.
I remember it was Pablo that actually put his hands on one of them.
And so we all jump in the car and we go back to the party. We pull up. Now they're all scattered and they're like the party's dead. The party's over. It's dying down. But then somebody, I don't know. They saw us. The adults got scared. Larry, Big Red, had ran upstairs. And I went behind him, and somebody blocked me. And all I can think of is Larry's upstairs with who knows what by himself. And whoever was in front of me, I just fucking knocked them off, went upstairs. And it was funny because I think the music was playing. It was like a movie. Like the light is dim. Then there's a strobe light. And it's like an empty club. And there's music in the background. And I see Larry like this. And there's another guy like this. And I'm like, yeah. And I took a table and I slammed the table. I slid, like you pushed this, because he was on the other side of the table and the table was between him and Larry. Now I'm next to Larry and I see Larry hungry as fuck to kick this guy's ass. And I took the table, so I pushed it and slammed it into him and pushed him back and pinned him. And then Larry went and fucking started wailing on him. And then I heard people screaming, and they're like, oh, my God, call the police. And I was like, Larry, let's go. And then we just left back in the car, and we all bounced out.
Yeah, it was hairy. It was hairy. And it went to the point when we all met at 69th Street by Weldon.
Yeah.
And we were trying to recruit the 78th Street guys to come out. Let's all band together and do a search party or some shit. It was just ridiculous.
There was a lot of long nights, a lot of craziness, and that wasn't even a Grand Theft Auto. That was just us because we wanted to go to a party that we weren't invited to.
And our boy was DJing. I don't remember who this guy was, but we knew him.
Yeah, somebody knew him. It was one of those back in the day. Yo, I know the DJ, and we just 3 cars of guys. Let's go.
Yeah, we were a bunch of drunk 16, 17, 18-year-olds, bro. That's an ugly drunk.
Yeah, we were stupid. We were stupid. And
but
my car.
Fun. I don't regret any of it. Oh, that shit was fun.
No, I'm just thankful, and I say my prayers and count my blessings, because, and this is one of the reasons why I joined the Army, because, stupid, at the time, I wanted to be a cop, which was, look, we're doing all this shit, and I wanted to be a cop, waiting for the test.
I could have been a cop.
And you know what? As fun as it was, everything comes to a halt or, finishes. And things started happening. Chris got a gun put in his mouth. He went out bagging one night, and a group of guys bum rushed him. Apparently, they may have been cops, off-duty cops, but they found him. They, punched him up a bit and put a gun to his mouth. So that was fucking scary because Chris, he's, fucking our right-hand man, and it was like, it was like scary. And then there was this one night, me and Chris were on a double date, and Scott was with us. And he was kind of the third wheel hanging out, which we didn't mind. We didn't give a fuck. We would double date a couple of girls.
We cared about our boys more than our girls.
Anyway. Yeah, so we didn't give a shit. And then, we were at the pool hall in Sunnyside, and Ahmed rolls up, and he's like, "Yo, I got a job. We got a car. We're gonna take this. Me and Francis. Remember Francis? Rest in peace. The Prince." Prince of Thieves. He was
Platano. Yeah, he was great, man. I love that guy.
He was a prince. The sweetest guy in the world, as long as you don't piss him off, because he'll just steal your house, your car, your family. He'll steal it.
If you knew him, you didn't think any of that.
No, he was a sweetheart. He was a sweetheart, but just don't piss him off because he fucking take your shit. So Ahmed shows up and he's like, "Yeah, we got a job, blah, blah, blah." Me and Francis, and Scott's like, "Fuck it, I'm the third wheel. I'll go." Me and Chris had girls with us, and we're like, "All right, man, good luck, peace out, whatever." And then, we hung out with the girls, messed around in the back seat of the car, dropped them off, and then we just went home. Then the beeper starts going off, 911, and Scott's running around from the cops. They got bagged. It turns out the car they were trying to boost belongs to a detective, the luck, and they came out, and anyway, Scott got away, and they got arrested. Ahmed and Francis got caught. That was my awakening, because I looked up, like everyone else, Francis was the Prince of Thieves, and he was like undefeated, and nobody bagged like he bagged, and nobody stole like he stole, and he was like undefeated. And when he got arrested, I was like, damn, if he can get arrested. I was like, that was kind of an awakening. That's when the clock started ticking. Like, I gotta do something, because I'm gonna either, Chris got a gun to his mouth, Francis got arrested. I was like, holy shit! And that's when I got arrested. Yeah, and that's
everything does come to an end, because there was a couple summers where we were just reckless, and it was just all in fun. And even if shit got hairy, we still laughed about it afterwards.
Yeah.
And we were just like, nothing could ever happen to us until shit started happening to us. Yeah. And then everything started to like, okay, wait a minute. I don't know about this. And people even flipped on each other at some point. It wasn't good.
Yeah, I got that sense while I was away. I guess Chris was filling me in, but I guess, eventually everything fell apart. It was fun for a good, it had its time. 2, 3, for me it was 2 years, and I bounced to the Army. And I know everyone kept going, but I know eventually, everyone, it finishes. It comes
everybody
to an
went
end.
their separate ways. Literally, everybody went their separate ways. And you know what the good thing about all that is that eventually you find each other again. And it depends how it feels at that point, what it actually all meant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So even with Scott, I ran into him kind of randomly, I think, if I remember correctly. And it just felt like it always felt.
Yeah.
He was just Scott from up the block. Like I had seen him last week. It just went right back to that. And I was like, this is what it's all about. This is what all that was for.
Yeah.
so that we can be who we are now, and you still hold on to the ones that matter.
Yeah, it definitely gave. Yeah, it definitely helped out. It definitely the you know, I don't recommend that life. You know, I've spoken to my kids, especially my son, about that life. But there is an edge to it. There is a plus. There is something that we carry with us that helps us. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
In a weird way. I wouldn't tell nobody to do stupid
Well,
shit.
it's
But
not something that you can ever orchestrate.
yeah,
It's either you went through it or you didn't. You can't like force your way into that life or anything. You just kind of have to think it's a normal thing for you to actually appreciate the lessons that come from it. You know, you can't decide one day, hey, we're going to go steal some cars. No, it just kind of was what we were doing.
yeah,
I
it was
didn't want to. I didn't wake up saying that's what I'm going to do.
it
We
was
just did
organic.
it, and it was part of all the fun that we were having.
Yeah, because we had, again, energy, and there was nowhere to go with it, and we found something. Because if no one gives us direction, something's gonna give us direction, and we found it with the drinking, the smoking, and the stealing shit. We needed to feel important, I guess. You know, we wanted to feel some kind of, I don't know, like we did something because we
You
weren't
know what
doing
else?
anything
Something
else.
else is nobody wanted to go home, ever.
Nope.
There was a reason why we had to stay out. Oh, you're going to go to White Castle? I'll go with you. I'm not going home. Just nobody wanted to be home. It's not the same anymore. Kids got all kinds of shit to do at home. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, there was no reason for me to be home. I need to be out.
Yeah, I there was no reason, and I didn't necessarily like my house anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what am I gonna do? Watch my parents? You know, stepdad doesn't talk to me. Mother is whatever, and I got two little sisters. What am I? Where's
Yeah.
what
What am I
relation?
going to
There's
watch TV? What the fuck is that? I got to go out there. What are my boys doing right now? Who do I beat? 911. Come get me.
it's seltzer. And somebody's is that a 40? No, it's a seltzer. He's drinking beer. I quit drinking actually, but thank you.
You
Shout out to my
did?
boy.
For
I got
health
one of my
reasons or fat reasons?
Hmm?
For health
uh,
reasons?
health. I kind of went over the edge with the drinking, and I had to check in and get a little rehab. And I'll be 4 years clean this spring. So
Nice, bro. Congrats.
another life lesson that happened. I was a good drinker. I thought I was a good drinker because we drank 40s, and then
No.
I joined the army, and
Yeah.
that was like a fucking third-degree black belt in fucking alcohol. It's just a whole other level of fucking drinking.
You
It
know,
was
when I think about you, bro, I remember one word that you used to always use.
what?
Lovely.
Oh, word? Oh,
Hey, whatever would be going on. Yeah, we're going to go over here and we're going to break this shit and we're going to do that. And you would just turn around and be like, lovely. That was what you would say all the time. Lovely.
really
You're
lovely.
an asshole. Lovely.
There was a lot of shit, man. There's so much. I mean, I'm in the process of putting a book together. But maybe I'll write about that. I don't know. But those are some crazy times, and never forget it. I mean, the jobs we did with cars and the running around and the helicopters. Were you there that night when the police helicopters came
Well,
out?
I remember when Edgar got caught over there by Macy's and they beat his ass. Remember that
That
night? That might have been the night.
That was the night.
wasn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
that was the night. There was 12. It was like 12 of us. And yes, you were again. Every time we do a job, you were with a girl making out or something. You were always with a girl. And I was like, this motherfucker's with a girl. And they're like, yo, look out, Cheech. And he's like, how can you look out when you're kissing a girl in the backseat?
Yeah. Well, I was a good lookout, bro.
Yeah,
You remember the time we went to we'll say the house in Roosevelt, and
Yeah.
I got a fucking gut feeling, and I was like, we need to get the fuck out of here right now. And everybody was like, what are you talking about, Chief? We just got here. I was like, guys, we need to leave. And I grabbed you motherfuckers.
We left.
Pushed you out the door.
And we came back later.
And it was raided.
And it was raided. Yes.
And I was like, see, you got to listen to my gut. It's right all the time.
Yes, we did like a quick drive-by. It was really crowded. And I remember we went to the city.
Yeah.
And then after we did our rounds in the city, driving around forever and doing shit. And then I said, all right, let's go back to Queens. And we went back, the house, and the cops were there, got raided. So, yeah.
I was like, yo, I don't know what the fuck happened to me, man. An energy came over me, and I was like, we have to leave here right now.
Yeah, 6 cents. Yeah, you saved our asses.
Yeah.
But
Fun times, bro.
the 40s, the blunts, the cars, the stealing. Larry crashing 3 cars. We're being chased by the cops. Me, Chris, and Sapo getting shot at, and fucking by Sapo's house in Queens. It was just, I just can't believe some of the shit we got away.
And you know, we were very nice boys anyway.
That's the craziest part. I look at all of us, and we all of us had basic. We all had parents, working class, middle class. I wouldn't say poor, broke, and I wouldn't say rich either.
We were
but
decent.
We were all decent.
We're very and nice. Any one of us could have babysitted a kid. We were that nice.
And we all had jobs.
And we would abuse the shit out of that kid and kick him around. Because that's what they fucking need.
We all had jobs. Most of us had jobs. I was working in the mall, but what we needed is the excitement.
That's why you're called the fisherman.
So explain to everybody why I'm called Fish.
Well, first of all, you had a few jobs in the food court in the mall.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And that made you the fucking first access person to all the chicks in the mall, right? That's one. So you were reeling them in like a fisherman. But also because you were like a high-ranking member of the Arthur Treacher's team.
There was no high ranking. I was a fucking fry cook.
You were running shit there, bro.
I got a job in Arthur Treacher's, and fish sticks and shrimp and coleslaw and hush puppies was my thing. I was in the back. I was a fry cook. So yeah, it was like one of the last jobs I had in the mall. That was my last food court job in the mall. I was 19.
Do you remember when you used to work at the cheesesteak spot? Yeah,
Philly cheesesteaks.
I used to go there almost every day to get a fucking cheesesteak from you, and I was eating it once in front of the counter, so I could keep talking to you. And then before you know it, we turn around and there's a fucking melee going on, and it was the Chinese gangs were fighting in the food court. Do you remember that?
No.
You don't remember the Chinese gang fight?
I remember
that was the best shit. They were throwing sidekicks. It was like we were watching Street Fighter. Me and you were just sitting there eating, and I swear to you, you gave me the cheesesteak. I turn around, and all of a sudden, all the Chinese guys are all fighting. They're kicking each other. They're flying sidekicks and shit. They were all making noises. I was like, yo, this is a fucking kung fu flick. It was the best.
I remember the Asian gangs back in the day. I mean, that's not that there's no Asian gangs. There's no gangs, period, in Queens. I mean, we had gangs every neighborhood, and the Asians had their gangs. It was pretty crazy. I feel like it's so much safer today than you can't compare.
Do you remember the International Pub?
Yes, I remember going there a few times before I left for the Army.
I was a fucking waiter there.
Oh, okay.
I was like 18, 19 years old, so I had no business really working there, but they gave me the job anyway. It was off the books. And that was where all the Chinatown gangs would come, and they would hang out every night. And there was dudes with the snake tattoos around their leg, and they would slap girls. It was fucked up in there, bro. It was really hairy, and I was just serving drinks like a good... I was a waiter amongst the Chinese gangs.
Like I said, it's weird. We all came from like decent families. We had parents. We had jobs, but we still doing stupid shit. Again, I'll say it again. We just had this energy that had to be taken out somewhere. But you were doing the record, so part of your energy was going something productive. What was your first? What would you say your first major job was besides the parties and stuff?
My first actual music industry job. Do you remember Manny Lorenzo?
No.
He was a Filipino dude that lived he lived right down the block from Newtown, and he knew Edgar.
Okay.
One of Edgar's friends. He got into the music business, and he knew me for all the years of blocks and everything. And he calls me one day. He's like, "What are you doing? You want a job? Come here. I'm gonna give you a job. Come through." So I became the file clerk in the office that he worked at, and he worked at a legal attorney's office as her assistant.
Okay.
So he needed some help filing her mess of papers, and he was like, "Yo, Cheech, you could do this. Come through." And that was my first job. File clerk for Terry Baker of the firm Tabafia and Baker. She represented the Notorious B.I.G. She represented Sean Paul.
Right.
Salam Remy. She had a lot of like big clients, and that was my first job.
Did you actually meet any of these famous clients?
No, I met just Blaze because I delivered an agreement for him to sign.
Okay.
I met the Neptunes, which is Pharrell, and because again I had to have them sign a production agreement,
Okay.
so I brought it to the studio for them to sign, and that was my kind of entry into the music business
Nice.
officially.
And then what was the next after that?
The next step after that, I got an internship at Universal, and then Manny left his post, and I was hired as her assistant. So I worked with her for like 3 years, and then it was a slew of other jobs after that. I became a recording engineer. I kept on DJing and producing. Um, I managed a few artists, a few producers. I got a label job at TVT, but instead of the entertainment attorney side, I worked on the label side as an assistant. And then I worked at Sam Ash. I mean, there's nothing I didn't do except for radio. And then after that, I got my job at MTV, and I was there for 10 years. That was the longest job I had ever.
What did you do for MTV?
I was the bleeper. I would basically review all the content before it aired, make sure it was decent and clean, reviewed all the music videos for the whole network, and I would also go to the live events and I would bleep out bad words live.
You're the bleeper?
I was the bleeper.
You were the bleeper? You're the beep, the beep.
Yeah, so you watch Kanye West on the VMAs going, yeah, mother bleep. I was the guy that bleeped him.
You're the bleeper. That's so. I didn't know there was an actual, because there was a. I'm looking at your job and your bio, and there was some crazy. I forgot what the long title is for MTV. What
Yeah, I was
it?
the director of standards and practices.
The director of standards and practices, but you're the bleeper.
So after all the shit we just talked about that we did, I was in charge of guarding the moral fabric of the youth
For MTV.
for MTV. So if I thought it was not decent, sorry, you got to cut it. Hey, that's a boob. You got to blur that. You said fuck. It sounded like fuck. Bleep it.
So you did bleeps and blurs.
Pretty much. So I would watch all the content for MTV, VH1, MTV2, Spike TV, all those channels, and I would review the content and make sure that it's decent.
All the shows
clean.
too.
All the shows, scripts, and everything.
Jersey Shore? Were you there for Jersey
I didn't work for Jersey Shore, but I was there for it.
Okay.
I worked on Wild and Out.
Okay.
I did that for like 4 seasons. I worked on Ridiculousness. I've worked on a few Real World episodes, and I had a bunch of shows, man. A bunch of shows.
Real world. So, like, what interesting people did you meet since you were doing all this?
I met everybody that was on Wild and Out, all the talent, all the different artists that would come through. I ran into Taylor Swift in the elevator once. I met Big Daddy Kane in the elevator, and all I had to say,
fuck Taylor Swift. I'm excited about Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah, I looked over and I was like, holy shit. 1, he's shorter than I thought. 2, holy shit, it's Big Daddy Kane. So I turned to him, what did I say? Holy shit, you're Big Daddy Kane. And his publicist says, hey, you see, people still do know who you are. Because apparently he was bitching about that before I said anything.
Wow.
I met Don King in the elevator.
Okay, Don King.
Yeah, Don King. Bunch of people, man. A lot of years. 10 years is a big chunk of my life.
Wow. Any cool interactions or anybody like, talk to, I know you talk to, anybody talk to you or have, a moment besides Big Daddy Kane?
Not off the top of my head. I can't say it now. But yeah, I have a lot of experience there. 10 years. And I was one of the only ones in the department that would actually make an effort to meet the production staff and to have a face as opposed to them thinking we're just going to fuck up their jokes.
Right.
I wanted to have a relationship with these people. So yeah, Nick Cannon, a lot of the producers from the big shows, they knew me by name because I was actually someone that helped them get the job done as opposed to getting in the way of getting the job done.
Right.
So that's a big important thing for me was putting a face to the department.
Yeah, building relationships too.
Yeah, and having a rapport. Like I didn't want to be known as the guy that's gonna fuck up the shit. Oh, there he comes. I didn't want to be that. I wanted to be the guy that helps you get to tell the joke how you want it. But you got to include me in the making of the joke because if you say something awesome and you record it and then I tell you can't, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be part of the process.
Dude, as a comedian, that's awesome because, we have what we want to say and we want to say it our way. Now, sometimes there's little stipulations and we have to alter our shit. But the fact that you're helping is very cool. Because the last
important. And I feel like I could have probably got more credit for that, or maybe I could have some more IMDb entries or something. But I didn't know. All I wanted to do was be helpful and be good at my job. So,
So 10 years, what happened that you left?
well, I've co-founded a website called the Rap Fest, and
Okay.
that was music content. And what it was putting together or curating music from independent artists and major artists, and then I would show up in their hood or wherever they need me to be or wherever they are, and I would shoot the content, and I would put it together in a music video, and then I was trying to get that content played at Viacom. So I needed to use a service to deliver that content so that they can actually cache it and play it in the format that you need to air it on the channels.
Mm-hmm.
The service I used was Video, where I work now. So in delivering this content, the CEO of the company was like, who the hell is this dude? And how is he getting all this content? He must know someone. So he was looking to hire someone to help him sort of drum up business and sort of bring visibility more to the company and whatnot. So he would talk to me like, hey, what do you do? Who are you? How do you know these people? It took him 2 years. But eventually I realized that what he was doing was in the forefront of what the music industry was going to become. Record deals were different. Music consumption was different. Music videos carried a lot more weight than just a record. All this stuff was all started from YouTube. And that's what Roy at my company was very good at. And he, I took the job, and now we've become a full service distributor. We are a full label service. From soup to nuts, we can do everything from distribution, monetization, royalty payments, rights management, publishing admin. So we can pretty much do everything a major label can do, fully independent.
Get the fuck out! And
So
you're the founder, co-founder.
No. That was what I was a co-founder was the Rap Fest,
Okay.
which kind of brought me to Video.
Okay.
So the owner of Video took notice of me and courted me, and here I am. 4 years later, I'm still here, loving it.
With
And,
Video.
Vidya, Vydia.
So that's who you're with now, Video.
That's who I'm with now. And yes, we are a premier distributor. We have very good standing in the community, so to speak. And we are fully independent. We don't have a major above us. And that is something to be said, bro. That's huge.
But so do you guys deal with strictly music? Do you do anything outside of music or any other entertainment?
Yeah, we can handle all the rights associated with any kind of video content, whether it be interviews or comedy skits or anything like that. We're moving shortly into podcasting and long-form programming in the future.
Wow, so I should be talking to you more.
I mean, perhaps. I mean, you are my friend, so you're never going to go away. You'll always be around, and anything I can do to help, I will.
But you're not in New York, right? You're in Florida?
No, I'm in Jersey, actually.
Oh, you're in
moved
Jersey.
to the burbs.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you are nearby. Oh, we fucking cross the bridge and see you anytime.
Correct. I mean, I'm kind of in Jersey. I'm near Great Adventure.
So, my cousin's right there. I got a cousin. Exit 7A. I forgot what the township is.
Yeah, I'm exit 8.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Wow. So you're on the ground level with Video, and you guys are going to continue to grow.
Yeah, I've never put it that way, but yeah. I mean, I got there 6 years after the inception, but ground floor as to what Video is now, yes.
And where it's going, which is
where
huge.
It's going, for sure. I'm learning every day, man. I learn things I never thought I needed to learn. I ask questions I never thought I'd ask. I love this. I'm pretty good at it, so I'm happy.
Well, God bless, because that's been my biggest failure as far as keeping up with the technology side of the house, because everything changed with social media and YouTube. I mean, I came up also because of my age and lack of technology knowledge, and because I started kind of late, I was of the old school where all we had to do was practice our craft, writing every day, going on stage, and just working our craft. And then, here comes the social media and all this technology, and it took people farther faster. It was another outlet. and I never really took advantage of that or bothered to learn. I was kind of that old guy, get off my lawn. I didn't want to. I didn't want to. I was in social media, but I didn't take it seriously.
Yeah.
And over the years, I talked to a lot of my buddies, and we are like, "Yo, this is nuts." And we saw comedians start flexing that technology muscle and expanding their own. And we see comedians pass us. And when we're in the industry, there's no rules, there's no real seniority. It's just a matter of, how hard you work. And we did work hard, but this technology was a different muscle. And we see people pass us along, get opportunities quicker, and the numbers and the followers. And so I'm late, but that's what I've been doing since the pandemic. I've been addressing that part of the business.
Well, use your time properly, bro, and wisely.
Well, that's why since March, I've been recording IG lives. I got a website now, trying to get more followers. I'm rolling it into a podcast. This is kind of my prep before the podcast. I already got somebody doing the artwork that's pretty much done. And so, yeah, I'm going in that direction because it's the 21st century for way of things, for comedy, for music.
Mm-hmm.
Like clearly what you say, like you're ahead of the game because it's just so other, I'm just playing catch up right now. I might be stopping by your house real soon.
Yeah, no problem. And I really enjoy smoking meats and grilling. I have all kinds of ways to do it. And I honestly think that after I'm done with this music thing, I might go into barbecue.
I saw those pictures. It looks delicious.
Yeah, I'm getting a real knack for it, and I like it a lot.
And you're married with children, correct?
I have 3 children, married since 2009. Okay. I've been with her since 2001. Holy shit. Yeah.
Dude, to think about how we used to be and how we used to act when we were 18, 19, to be responsible. It's fun. I'm laughing inside because I'm like, wow, Cheech is a responsible adult. He's a husband with, wow.
It's not my doing. It's really my wife. Okay. I'm still the same fucking knucklehead I ever been, but I just listen to my wife. That's all.
Oh yeah, I get it. I totally get it. But that's awesome, man. And all this, your whole life and the whole music industry. It all just started from your garage, from your 2 turntables and making mixtapes and living in there. And you basically just, because there's no school. There was no school. You didn't go to any school for this, did you?
I kind of did everything on my own, and I did everything I could to a point. And after I left one of my jobs, I can't remember which one, I just got home and I was like, you know what? I want to do this more. So I started recording local rappers in my garage. I started teaching myself how to record and engineer. And then at some point I kind of hit a wall and I was like, okay, I need a little more training here and I can't teach myself anymore. So I went to engineering school. I went to the Institute of Audio Research. And that was the first time I ever got straight A's, bro. I realized, holy shit, I like this. And I got into deeper what I wanted to do. And that's when I got an internship at a recording studio. I was 27 at the time, bro. That's how late. I was 27 and I said, I'm just going to stop every fucking thing I'm doing and I'm going to go get an internship and I'm going to start again. So I was an intern at Soho Studios on 6th Avenue and Spring Street. And that is where 50 Cent recorded all his mixtapes before he became who he is. Jay Mills, Vado, a lot of Mark Ronson was even in that studio. I don't know if you know who Mark Ronson is, but he's huge. He discovered Amy Winehouse, a bunch of other people. So yeah, that was a real crash course in like the business for me, the dirty part of the business.
So you basically, you worked hard, you were moving up, you had jobs, but you took a time out and actually took a couple of steps back at 27 to become an intern and went to the school.
Correct.
To learn more.
Correct. And I was working at Sam Ash at the time as well, selling equipment. So I was learning about the equipment as I was selling it.
And it paid off.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Much. And the fact that it's funny, you said, oh, I got straight A's. First time I got straight A's. Because I've always heard that our school system is shitty across the board. and it just keeps everybody in a box. It's a very boxed system. You know,
Right.
one size fits all, and that's why some of us fail. It's not that we're dumb or stupid. It's just we're not interested. But if you put us in a certain, if you actually ask the kids what they want to be, if you ask the kids, hey, what are you interested in? They kind of focus the schooling around what they want to do, because a lot of kids do have an idea. Then maybe they would, you know, they would be more A. They would get A's, just
Yeah.
like you. We didn't do good in high school. I mean, I didn't do good in high school, but if you know, if there was a comedy class, if I, you know, at 18, I was thinking about stand-up comedy. I never took the step, but if there was a class, I would have took it. If there was an assignment, I would, yes, same thing. So it's just, I don't know.
It's it's programs, bro. We don't have they keep taking money out of the schools, and there's nothing. There's nothing left for anybody. I mean,
at the
not
end of
even
the,
after school programs are like, what the hell's going
yeah.
on? This is the richest city in the world. This is the financial capital of the planet. And
But
you
that,
can tell me New York City schools don't have programs? Like, what the fuck?
yeah. But I tell my kids all the time, this is a lucky. You guys are lucky, have like the luckiest generation, because you have the technology. I mean, you literally can Google or YouTube anything you want.
Yeah, but kids are stupider these days because it's so easy. I don't understand.
It's weird because now I'm, you know, like I said, I was so late with the technology, but now, you know, I'm catching up. I'm learning to use it and take advantage. I mean, and a lot of new comedians. I mean, I came apart. I didn't know how to write a joke. I didn't know how to write a joke. I didn't know that it was a formula and a process and all that. But right now on YouTube, dude, you watch a 10-minute video, you got it. You can watch videos on how to write a joke, how to construct a joke. What is the formula of a joke in a 10-minute video? And you know, and it's like anything. I go to YouTube all the time when I want to make a recipe, when I need a recipe for something. You know, and it's all there. It's
you can
all,
get like your whole dad lessons are in there too. Change your tire, check your oil, all that shit's in there too.
It's crazy. I'm going back to the gym. I'm getting a lot of fitness tips. I watch some podcasts, which are great. This is why I want to do a podcast. I want to share my life.
My brother-in-law fixed his roof. He watched the fucking YouTube video, and he did a damn good job. Like, wow,
Save
look
money.
at you.
Yeah, it's huge. That's why I'm you know, I've been spending the pandemic just learning more, giving myself, like you said, which I didn't do before, but you did. You love what you do. You know, you may have taken a step back, but you didn't care, because at the end of the day, it's about you love what you do. And I always tell people, I tell my kids, don't chase the money, chase the dream. Whatever it is you want to do, fucking just do it.
The money
Just
should
focus
come,
on
man.
that.
Yeah, people always ask me, you know, you don't look your age or whatever they say, and you know, it has to do with the fact that I actually like what I do, and I enjoy my family. Like, I don't hate my wife. I like her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
I love my wife, but everybody says that. I'm saying I actually like her.
Yeah.
Which means I like to come home. I like to tell her things. You know what I'm saying? That shit matters, bro.
That's a whole other episode, but I totally, yes, like you enjoy, not love, like.
Yeah.
You found the right partner.
Like, imagine my wife was a pain in the ass and I'd have to come home and ask her a bunch of fucking questions. One, I would do half the shit I do, because now I have to fucking explain it every time, which means I wouldn't be as productive. Right. And I wouldn't want to be home. Like, it's just easy. Like, it makes me a good person when my life is easy.
You know, coming up in the music industry, wanting to be a DJ and be in the music industry, as a young kid, you were what, 15, 16? Your family knew this. How did they feel?
They would always ask me questions like, "Oh, I didn't know you were a singer. Are you a singer? Because how the hell are you going to get in the music business if you're not a singer?" Almost like there's absolutely nothing else that you can do in the music business. Right. And this is how I grew up, like mocking the whole idea of getting in the music business. But I kept on going because really I didn't like anything else. I didn't want to do anything else.
There wasn't real support when you were young from your family?
No, it was always about, what am I going to do for money? And I'm like, I'm going to fucking get in the music business. I'm going to have a job. And my father kept driving that shit home. And I was like, yo, shut up. And then finally I said to him, Pop, who'd you raise? Did you raise me? Or are you acting like I'm some other kid that I'm going to act different than how you raised me? Did you not raise me to fucking follow my dreams and figure out what I'm going to do and be a man? I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm a man. You raised this man. And one thing I'll tell you is, if I need it, I can get it. I will get it. I'll figure it out. Because that's how you raised me. So leave me alone. I'm telling you, I'm going to be in the music business. Whether or not I'm rich, whether or not I don't sleep or whatever it is, it's what makes me happy. So that is what I'm going to do. Maybe I'm rich, maybe I'm not, but I will be happy. And he looked at me like, oh, shit. All right. Leave him alone. He's going to be all right. And he told everybody in the family, shut the fuck up, leave him alone. And he hasn't bothered me since.
How old were you when this happened?
18 or 19, maybe 20.
Wow.
I just knew that this is what I'm going to do. And if you keep fucking bothering me, I'm going to do some worse shit. So
because that's how we are. That's how we don't push you. Because I'll do something stupid. I'm not doing something stupid, but if you keep bothering me, I'm going to do something stupid.
I'm going to make you right. You're going to want to be right. I'll do this.
Watch. It's that psychology, man.
Yeah, that's how we are. You can't push me against the fucking corner because I'm going to go left.
Your words hit home, personally, because I know the comedy thing. Something's been building since I was a child. The stand up is something I thought about. I actually, I never shared it. I never told you guys.
No, we were surprised, but I wasn't surprised. I was like, this guy's always been fucking hilarious. This is probably what he should be doing.
Well, I never shared it with nobody. I guess I was funny, because I was a smart ass and the shit that came out of my mouth, because the comedy started when I was like 4. I was a sponge. It started with Tom and Jerry and Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny is like my maker. I think that's where I get the mouth from and the control. You ever notice Bugs Bunny, regardless of the situation, he has a shotgun to his head, but he's still in control and being funny. Mm-hmm. That's something that I guess I embraced and I soaked up as a kid. And it just went on with sitcoms. By the time I was in the 1st grade, I'm watching Benny Hill, Archie Bunker, fucking the Jeffersons and the cartoons, and I Love Lucy. So this was just...
And Eddie Murphy Raw, and Delirious.
Eddie Murphy Delirious was my first album. That exploded in my head, and I was in the 2nd or 3rd grade. And then when I saw more stand-up, I kind of gravitated to it, and it was like, but it never felt real. It always felt like a wish or something crazy. It didn't feel real. And in my household, it was very structured, as in, get a job, make sure it's union with benefits. They had a structured life because my stepfather had 2 jobs, so he got 2 unions and 2 benefits. My mom was a teacher. She went to college and had a teacher union, and that's what it was, kind of put on us, that structure. Get a job, get a union, get the chief. Remember the chief, the newspaper for all the union jobs. Get a city job, get a state job, get a government job. Make sure it has a union. So that's how we were raised, and I was always scared to share that I wanted to be a comedian because I felt like they weren't
going to understand that.
No. So, and I didn't tell my friends. I didn't share it with you guys. When I was 18, I actually was considering going to an open mic, but I just made the decision to hang out and drink 40s with you guys because it seemed like a far-fetched dream at the time. And then, of course, I got into the Army and I became a father and a husband. So whatever dream I had took a fucking hard left and kind of disappeared. But yeah, it's very similar when you come up with the family structure and you're the oddball and they're looking down at you. And what you said just totally hit home. Maybe I'll be rich, maybe I'll be poor, but I want to be fucking happy. And that's exactly how I feel. Mm-hmm. And people don't get it. And growing up, and you know what? I've been doing comedy for 15 years. I never told my parents. I know they know. I think they know, but it's like your dream is like a baby. You remember, I don't know if your wife or you, when you had your newborn baby, and you're not going to let anybody hold it. Mm-hmm. Like, you let somebody you trust hold your newborn. That's your newborn. That's your baby. You're not going to let a stranger hold your newborn, only maybe somebody you trust. And that's how our dream feels. That's how I didn't feel like sharing my dream because I knew I don't trust you.
Yeah.
So I didn't share it.
And I don't want to hear what you have to say about it because
exactly.
It doesn't matter.
I already know.
If you feel that you have to say something to me, then I definitely don't want to hear it.
Yeah. It's special. And it's a little bit, it's like a double-edged sword because you're going to get cut. from the other way. I
It's
mean,
about energy too. Like you don't want to invite this energy to yourself. Like if I
yeah,
had the wrong conversation before I got on this podcast or this live, it would have messed up my mood. So
yeah,
you gotta be able to deflect and know what's not gonna affect you positively, and just like, all
yeah.
right, I'm not gonna answer that call before I talk to John tonight. You know?
So yeah, totally. And I'm having that conflict right now with my marriage. She is, and I don't blame her. We're cool, but she just doesn't understand the path that I've chosen.
Right.
Like she doesn't understand. Like I have a friend of mine, a comedian who left New York. He's traveling state to state and living out of his car. To me, in our world, in the comedy world, that's absolutely normal and cool, and I wish I can do that. I'm actually thinking about it, but it's part of our culture. You know what I'm saying? It's normal. Comedians do that. Gary Shandling lived out of his car. Comedians living out of their cars. Some of the greatest comedians did that. You hear story. I mean, we know the stories, but the public doesn't know.
Right.
Was Tiffany Haddish?
Stephanie Haddish.
Yeah, she was living out of her. Look at her now, but she lived out of her car. She was living out of her car, and there's a story one time where she was hanging out, and Kevin Hart, who was already coming up and big, blessed her with some money. Like, yo, we'll get a hotel and, get a couple of, to get her out of her car, because that's where she was living. That's normal for us. That's totally cool. That's it. But others don't get it.
Yeah.
And the key is like you said, you got to keep it positive and deal with the people who understand, because everyone else is just noise.
Absolutely, bro. And that's life. Period. You just have to know where the right energy is and go to it.
So yeah, shout out and God bless to your wife who gets it.
Yeah, and still does.
And still does, because it's a hard road, man. But it is. What are we gonna not be who we are?
Yeah, but I'm a good dad because of it. All that's, it's all give and take, man. She gives me that, I give her everything else.
Yeah, true. Spoken like a true husband.
Oh, what's up, buddy? You want to see my friend John? I went to high school with him. Come, look. Look at my buddy over here.
Who's that? What's up, bro?
Say hi. That's John.
Hi.
How you doing?
That's my second buddy. I have another first. That's one of the twins.
Okay, twins. Holy shit.
I got twin boys, 8 years old.
Yeah, you pop twins. Cheech pop twins.
Yeah, and I got a daughter.
Nice.
She's 2.5.
Okay. Yeah, I got two myself. They're in their 20s. So I you remember I started early. I was 20. So yeah, I think was I the first one on the block to get somebody pregnant?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, 20. As soon as I was in basic training when I found out. I mean, it couldn't have been the worst possible timing.
Oh my God, that must have sucked to not be there for the birth. Were you there for the birth?
No, I got there for the birth. I just found, I was in basic training when I found out she was pregnant. I graduated from infantry school, came home, we got married, then I went to Texas, and then I came back in the spring, and she had the baby. Were you with me that night after my daughter was born?
I think so.
Yeah, the bill. Yeah, well, 2 buildings over, 2 blocks over.
Mm-hmm.
No, the night, the famous story, and I'll wrap it up with this. My daughter was born, and I'm like, I'm happy, crazy. It was like, oh my God, amazing. So after I left the hospital, I don't know, midnight, 1 o'clock, 2, 3 in the morning, I went to the store and picked up some cigars, and then I walked over to White Castle where everybody was in the parking lot, because that was our hangout. And I gave out the cigars to everybody. Now it's not the usual, hey, cigar, let's smoke. This is 1990.
Crack it open and roll a blunt.
It's a pretty blunt. We gotta get weed.
Come here, see my friend. Here's my other buddy.
Oh, what's up, bro? Oh, you dropped the kid?
He just dropped the rollerblade on his foot.
Oh, okay.
Are you okay, buddy? All right, he got it. He's good. So cigars.
So we went to White Castle. I bought Philly blunts. Now everybody wants weed. So we jump in the cars and we go over to Brooklyn to get weed because they had the best weed. And then we smoked up. And we
They were
smoked
Philly.
up.
They were Phillies.
For the
I
Phillies,
remember.
yeah. Philly blunts. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I remember we used
And
to go to Brooklyn and get the Knicks and come to Queens and sell them for dimes because they were so fat.
you know what? I'll even do better than that to continue the story. So my daughter was born, and I had to go back to Fort Hood. And some guys in my platoon smoked. So when we went out, I bought a bunch of nickels. I wanted dime bags, but they didn't have dime bags. And I got a shitload of nickels.
Mm-hmm.
And as a matter of fact, I think that night you were with me. You knew the spot or something. You accidentally bought crack. You went to a spot. Do you remember that? You bought crack.
I don't.
You bought crack by accident. We gave you the money. You went to the spot. You come back, and then you look at your, oh shit, what the fuck? What is this? And it's like, dog, it's crack. And I swear to God, you bought crack. And we were like, what are we gonna do? And they're like, go get your money back. And I'm like, how do you get money back?
Excuse me, can I have a
spot?
refund? Can I return this
But you
crack,
did.
please?
You did. We couldn't. It was like we were like, you went back and you got your money back. It was one of those buildings that was sealed completely, and it was a brick wall, and there was one brick missing. So that's where you put your money, and that's where it came out. It was just one brick missing, and that was a slot. And you got
when
your
you
money
pull up
back.
and you give the money to the bum, and he'd go get your shit.
Yeah,
That was great.
but you
Good
got
times,
a crack refund. Anyway, we finally I got a bunch of nickels, and I took them back to Fort Hood. And the guys loved them because they never had chocolate Thai. Chocolate Thai was the big thing, and they loved it. And I actually ended up selling those nickels for like 20.
Nice, sweet.
They love, yeah. I only had
It was all stems and seeds anyway.
the one time I was a drug dealer. That's it. The one time. But yes, my daughter was born. We smoked blunts. You bought crack by accident and got a return. You got your refund, and then
excuse me, sir. Can you I bought the wrong drug.
I swear to God, you got cracked by accident. You were like, oh, it was such a I mean, just the picture in my mind, we're like dumbfounded. You're in the back seat of a car, and you're like, oh shit, I got cracked. And we're like, what the fuck? We didn't. This is not what we.
How do you accidentally get cracked?
And then you got your money back. It's like, excuse me. I'm like, you. I mean, you were. I mean, that's brave. You went back and you got your money back. I thought they told you to fuck off, or something, but they actually were nice.
Well, that's what you would expect. They were nice drug dealers.
There were nice drug dealers in Brooklyn back in 1993.
Yeah, man.
Yo, listen. Thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure and an honor, and it was great. It was just talking about the good old days, and
Yeah, we
you're
can
doing
talk
great.
for hours, bro.
And you're doing great with your family. So God bless. And I didn't know you were in Jersey, and you're next to my cousin. So maybe I'll make a trip out there. I could crash at her house, and maybe I don't know. We'll go to Six Flags and get on some rides. But
sounds like a plan. I would love that.
I'll definitely hit you up. Maybe a little bit later when it gets warmer. That way we maybe chill, whatever. You can cook some meat for me.
Sure, and you could hold me on the Ferris wheel.
All right.
Later, bro.
Frank,
love you, man.
Cheech, Polonia. Thank you so much.
Have a great one. Great
God
to see
bless,
you.
man. Be good.
Love you, bro.
You got it. Love you too. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Frank Cheech, Polonia. Wow, great stories. Remembering shit from back in the day, and it's just awesome, just absolutely awesome. And it's a fun story because there's a happy ending. We're all adults now, and we're doing awesome things. So, and he's in the music industry, so that's pretty amazing considering where we came from. Anyway, guys, thank you for coming on. Thank you for watching. Again, this is Hot Pudge IG Live every Tuesday, Thursday, 8 o'clock. I got some really cool interviews. Like I said, I got somebody from the fire department. I got somebody from the security industry out in Los Angeles. That's going to be cool. Maybe a little gossip, a little TMZ insight. and some comedians also, always comedians, because you know how I do this. Comedians, I'm a comedian. So if you tuned in late, go to my YouTube channel later this week, Hot Pudge Sunday. It will be up by no later than Friday. So it will be up. Just look for Hot Pudge IG Live Season 2, and you'll see Cheech right there, and click on, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you, guys. God bless. Have a good night. Hot Pudge IG Live every Tuesday and Thursday. Hot Pudge Sunday YouTube channel. Peace.